Barely an hour's notice for a surprise statement in Downing Street. It had to be a significant announcement, and it was.
I have just chaired a meeting of the Cabinet where we agreed that the government should call a general election to be held on the 8th of June. I want to explain the reasons for that decision, what will happen next, and the choice facing the British people when you come to vote in this election. At this moment of enormous national significance, there should be unity here in Westminster. But instead, there is division. The country is coming together, but Westminster is not.
She said the other political parties were jeopardising Brexit.
If we do not hold a general election now, their political game playing will continue, and the negotiations with the European Union will reach their most difficult stage in the run-up to the next scheduled election. Division in Westminster will risk our ability to make a success of Brexit, and it will cause damaging uncertainty and instability to the country. So we need a general election, and we need one now, because we have at this moment a one-off chance to get this done while the European Union agrees its negotiating position and before the detailed talks begin.
And she said voters should think about the leadership of the country.
It will be a choice between strong and stable leadership in the national interest, with me as your Prime Minister, or weak and unstable coalition government led by Jeremy Corbyn, propped up by the Liberal Democrats who want to reopen the divisions of the referendum, and Nicola Sturgeon and the SNP. Every vote for the Conservatives will make it harder for opposition politicians who want to stop me from getting the job done.
She had always said there wouldn't be an early election.
I don't think there's a need for an election. I think the next election would be in 2020.
But now she claims she changed her mind over Easter.
Home Secretary, can the Conservatives beat Labour?
Cabinet members are leaving after being briefed this morning by Theresa May on her decision to call that snap general election. She is proving to be more of a gambler than we imagined. Due to a change in the rules, Parliament must now vote by 2/3 to allow an early election, so the opposition has to agree. Today, the Labour leader said he would.
I welcome the opportunity for us to put the case to the people of Britain, to stand up against this government and its failed economic agenda, which has left our NHS in problems, which has left our schools underfunded, which has left so many people uncertain. We want to put a case out there for the people of Britain of a society that cares for all, an economy that works for all, and a Brexit that works for all. And I want to lead a government that will transform this country, give real hope to everybody, and above all, bring about a principle of justice for everybody and economic opportunities for everybody.
The SNP believe this election is all the more reason for Scotland to go its own way.
It's very clear from her statement that this is all about crushing opposition. It's not about the interests of the country. This is the same Prime Minister who for the last few weeks has been saying in the context of a possible independence referendum that now's not the time because she has to focus on Brexit. Now that's all changed and she is seizing an opportunity to get rid of all opposition, to strengthen her grip and to give herself a free hand to move the country in an ever rightward direction. I don't think that's in Scotland's interest.
The Liberal Democrat leader was already out today campaigning on local elections before today's announcement. He hopes his party's distinctive pro-European message will cut through in a Brexit-focused general election.
This is an election that gives Britain the chance to change the direction the Conservatives are taking us in. An opportunity to vote against a hard Brexit that I believe the majority of the people join with me in being opposed to keep us in the single market, and to make sure that Britain has a strong and decent opposition, something that under Labour currently they don't have and they'll only have with the Liberal Democrats.
UKIP could certainly take part of the credit for the referendum result less than a year ago. But where does that leave them now? Does the party have a purpose?
We will be the conscience of this negotiating team. The fact is that This has been obscured by this strange kind of phony war we've had for about 8 months now. People talking about hard Brexits and soft Brexits and all the rest of it. Fact is that people voted, quite simply, for control of our borders, for the return of our sovereignty, return of our fisheries. We can make our own trade deals, all of this sort of thing. Terribly, terribly important. And we are the party that have been absolutely true to that.
She has thrown down the challenge. The country must now decide who will walk through that door in June as Prime Minister